Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a fantastic day. This is actually the second in-depth candle review that is going live here on my channel today. Earlier today, I reviewed Kringle Reserve Honey Blossom. If you are interested in that particular review, I'll go ahead and link it in the description box down below this video here. I will also put a link to where you can purchase Purple Majesty, which is the Kringle Reserve fragrance we are chatting about in this video. I will also put a affiliate discount code down there that'll save you 15% off of your purchase. There is also one more in-depth review that is going live at the end of the day today. And that review will feature Kringle Reserve Peony and Pomelo. So we are definitely discussing some Kringle Reserve candles today. These just all recently launched over at Kringle Candle. There were actually 5 fragrances in the collection. The last 2, which is Lilac and Lily, and then what was the other one? The Midnight Dahlia. Those remaining fragrances will likely get their in-depth reviews on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. If you're not already subscribed and you're interested in more of my home fragrance related content, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button before exiting out of the video today. All right, so without further ado, we are going to dive into Purple Majesty. This is another floral. All of the fragrances in this collection had kind of an interesting floral component to them. On this label are actually some irises. At first, when I looked at this, I thought they were Lisianthus. They are not. Those are actually purple irises. I should really know better, but they really kind of looked like some Lisianthus at first. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the scent description, go through each of the in-depth fragrance notes. I'll tell you what I actually smell in here. We'll discuss the strength and the throw. This is another one where I did not burn it downstairs. I actually burned it at the top of our stairwell. That will affect the strength and the throw because normally I am reporting on that from the downstairs of the house, which is much more open concept and the ceilings are much higher down there. So keep that in mind when we get to that point. And then obviously we'll discuss any burn issues here. This one does get some wicked mushroom tops. So I'll discuss that when we get there. All right, Purple Majesty. A majestic combination of purple iris, spiced orchid, and fruity plum blossom layered with steeped black tea and rich elements of dark amber. All right, our top notes here are amber and floral. The mid notes are fruit and spice. The base is floral and sandalwood. All right, let's discuss. First of all, when I work with irises and just orchids in general, I don't find them to be overly fragranced flowers, just, you know, in their own just floral state. Irises kind of smell, they definitely smell slightly floral, but they also smell kind of green to my nose. Again, they're not super potent, and I'm not really sure that it's the iris that I'm getting here. Orchid also typically not overly fragranced. There's certain types of orchids that don't even smell at all. So I'm not really going to say that it's orchid that I'm smelling here. It definitely is a slightly sweet, sort of generic floral component that I'm getting, but it's not a distinct iris per se. It's not a distinct orchid. It's not like it's a rose or a tuberose or a carnation or, you know, any other type of floral note like that. It's just a little bit generic. It's a nice floral note. I actually really like it. It's just not super distinct. I do smell a little bit of fruitiness in here though, and I think the fruitiness that I'm getting is kind of a slightly tangy, sweet plum type note. And I find the black tea to be very interesting because I feel like I definitely smell that, but I don't see that listed in the actual fragrance notes. I'm actually wondering if this spice that they have listed here is maybe this black tea that they're referring to in the description. It does smell a lot more like a tea note than it does a spice, and it's specifically a black tea note. This fragrance is not overly sweet. It's not really spicy per se. It's definitely got some floral to it, but I feel like there's more so maybe even an emphasis on a sandalwood note and once again, the amber. The amber it's not crazy potent in this one, but it's definitely present. So if amber is one of those fragrance notes that really turns you off, I would say skip this one because I do very much smell it in here. Not as much as I did in the honey blossom, but it is present. This fragrance is just very unique, very interesting. It's got a few different things going on. I've never smelled a floral quite like this one before. On cold sniff, I feel like there was a little bit more of like a tanginess that came out that I don't smell as much post burn. It smells a little bit more smooth maybe to my nose. It's almost like that sandalwood kicks in a little bit more and it kind of just mellows everything in this fragrance out. The strength and throw of this one I think is pretty darn good. At the top of the stairs, I would put this somewhere between a 7 and an 8 in terms of strength. But again, this is a much lower ceiling situation and the space is not as quiet. It's not quite as wide open, if you will. So I think I'm smelling this a little bit more potently than I would downstairs. So I'm gonna put the number between a 7 and an 8 for the upstairs, but if I were to take this downstairs, I bet it would be closer to maybe like a 6.5, 7 in terms of strength and throw. If it's performing at a pretty solid medium clip for me regardless. I just think I'm smelling it a lot more potently in the upstairs than I would in the downstairs. I really like this fragrance. I like the overall strength and throw performance that I've gotten from this one. I am not someone who just, despite being a florist, I don't naturally gravitate towards floral fragrances when it comes to home fragrance. I just, flowers to me smell like work because that is what my job is. So I don't always like having floral fragrances going on in the house necessarily. But if they're florals like these fragrances that we're talking about in today's reviews, where there's some other things going on other than just the floral component, that makes it much more enjoyable to my nose. So despite not being a fan of florals as like my favorite type of category, I have really enjoyed this Purple Majesty. I think if you're just a fan of the way that irises look, and there's some beautiful irises available out there, this label might really speak to you. I think it's a pretty fragrance. I don't think it's going to overwhelm anyone. And if you're interested in trying something new, I think this one is definitely worth checking out. Now, let's talk about the overall burn quality. I have definitely let this one go for probably about 7 hours max. And I gotta say, that was definitely too long for this one. I developed some really, really massive mushroom tops when I did that. And it did kind of start to make the wicks a little smoky, which as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, my bad. There are a lot of Kringle candles where I can let them go and the wicks never develop big mushroom tops. That is not the case with this one. I'm not sure if it has to do with the types of oils that were used, but I would not recommend burning this one probably more than 4 hours at a time, which is more in line with what I normally burn my candles at in terms of the amount of time. But just trim these wicks somewhat aggressively. Don't let this one burn super long. I'll show you guys the overhead shot. But luckily, despite those big mushroom tops that formed during that intense burn, it did not destroy the wax at all. I was fully expecting to maybe have to do something with the wax, but it turned out fine. So let's take a peek and see how we're doing with this one as of today. Oh my gosh, those mushroom tops are already starting to form. Can you see how kind of big those flames are? And I really have not had this lit for more than probably an hour at this point. So yeah, it's fully pulled out. You can see here that I'm definitely, I would actually say that I'm at the halfway point with this one. Burning it for that long that one day definitely helped me put a healthy dent in this one. But yeah, like you can see that this wax pool is pretty intense for only having been going about an hour. And those flames are really dancing. And I trimmed these wicks quite short, and you can see that they are already definitely raring to go again. So I'm gonna have to watch this one pretty closely. It might be one that I decide to pop underneath my candle lamp. I actually have a candle lamp off to the side here. So maybe I will put this one underneath the lamp. Like I said, I really enjoy the fragrance, but these wicks, they require a little bit more attention. So just be mindful of that. Other than that, no complaints here. A lovely, unique fragrance. Definitely a one and done for me though. This is not one where I see myself needing to have multiples of it. The Honey Blossom, for sure repurchase. I'm just not sure that this one is a must-have for me in terms of needing another one this spring. So anyway, if you ordered Purple Majesty, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, I'll have this one linked. There is one more review going live later on today, so make sure that you are subscribed so that shows up in your subscription feed. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.